Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to a brand new week and welcome to a brand new episode of what we like to call the Clash of the Champions, where we talk about the different controversies, different storylines, and different news that surround this world we know and love as professional wrestling. I am your host, the vegan you believe in, Conscious Kurt, aka the Professor in the Flesh, as always, and my co host needs no introduction, but fuck it. I'm gonna give y'all one anyway.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is tag team partner Jonathan Randall, the adventurer himself, the life of the party. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our soap opera that we like to call professional wrestling. Follow our podcast on social media and on Instagram at thechamps.clash and at the champs clash on Twitter. Ladies and gentlemen, we need all the support that we need, all the followers that we need to get the wrestling news that you deserve. Kurt, how you been?
Been pretty good, man. Just been enjoying this week of wrestling we've been experiencing. Even though WrestleMania has already came and gone, there's still a bunch of crazy shit going on, especially what happened this past Friday on SmackDown and also this past Monday on Raw. It is very clear to see that WWE specifically is not slowing down for shit. Because I know over the years, like after WrestleMania, it starts to get slow. Things kind of start to fall off a little bit. And granted, it's kind of like not the same vibe right now with some people out, but with some of the angles they've been doing and some of the storylines and swerves we've been getting, it's clear to see that there's a lot more to watch even after WrestleMania. And I'm all here for it.
True, that is true though. But there were a couple of there was one shocking thing that happened on Raw, and that was the news about Rhea Ripley. So apparently she got hurt, and because of that, she had to relinquish her World Women's Championship. Unfortunately.
Yes, last week on Raw, they did an angle backstage where Liv Morgan attacked Rhea Ripley, and during the attack, apparently Rhea Ripley suffered a shoulder injury, and she did come out on Raw Monday with her arm in a sling, which was already a bad sign, and came into the ring with Adam Pearce in the ring waiting for her, which was also another bad sign. And she confirmed the fact that she was going to be out for the next few months, and because of that, she would have to relinquish the women's world title that she's now held for over a year. Damn,
Pretty much
bro.
the same. Yeah, I know. What I heard, the amount of days that she had held that title was pretty much like around the same time, the same amount of days that John Cena held his title back in 2007.
Yeah, it's a damn shame, man, because for her to have the run that she was having and also to be as popular as she's been the last year or so, for her title reign to end like
I know.
this, man, I hate when this happens.
I know, man. And stuff like this happens, as good old JR used to say, this ain't ballet, and stuff happens. But when I look at this situation, there is like good news and bad news out of this. Of course, we both know the bad news is that she had to relinquish her title, but the good news is she's not going to be gone that long. So apparently it's going to take her time. It'll be like 4 to 6 weeks for to get whatever surgery needs it done, but it'll take her 3 months for her to fully recover. She'll be gone for that period of time. So how the way things are adding up, she'll be gone for about 3 months. She possibly, maybe, possibly could be back for SummerSlam. Maybe.
If not SummerSlam, from the way it's looking from how you describe the timeline, probably Bash in Berlin at the end of August. She could make it back for either one of those
Yeah.
shows. But yeah, she said specifically, so whoever ends up winning the title while she's gone, when she comes back, she's coming back for blood.
Okay, I believe that. Every return is back for vengeance. So we'll be looking forward to that. All we have to say is just we hope for a speedy recovery for Rhea Ripley. I know she'll be back stronger than ever. So
Yeah, but the thing I noticed with her promo compared to like other people in the past who've had to forfeit the title due to injury is that she wasn't really sad as much as she was pissed off. Because like even during the promo, you could tell like she was angry, and even in the middle of it, like her words got flustered, and she said, "You know what? I'm angry. I'm angry that I have to forfeit this title." And the line that was really interesting that she said was, as far as like Liv Morgan goes, "I'm not just gonna be gone because of my shoulder injury. I'm going to be gone because whenever I find you, they're going to have to put me in the Montreal jail."
what? Oh wow, I forgot they were in Montreal that night.
Oh, well, that was one of the main things to notice about Monday's Raw, but we'll get into that in a few minutes.
Right.
But yeah, she did say that. But then after she said that, Liv Morgan did come out with a bunch of security guards trying to keep her from coming to the ring, and other security guards trying to keep Rhea Ripley from coming at her, and they tried to separate the two of them. But as this was happening, Rhea Ripley actually headbutted one of the security guards, and that would pretty much end the segment. And this will be the last we will be seeing of Rhea Ripley on TV for a long time.
Oh wow. Well, I mean, as much as it sucks, though, definitely getting a heel turn from Liv Morgan, man, and this is good for her.
Yeah, she was being interviewed later on that night on Raw. And they were asking her about the whole thing, and she said, "Where was all the sympathy for me when Rhea Ripley put me out of action for 8 months?"
Mm,
Because
mm,
remember, it was Rhea who put her out over the summer, and that's why she was gone until Royal Rumble time. And yeah, nobody said anything to Rhea Ripley. No one was like getting mad at Rhea Ripley for it.
yep.
But now that Liv Morgan returns the favor and gets payback, now she's the villain. That is a good point.
Hey,
That's a good
man,
point, yo.
that is a very good point. Very good point.
Yeah, but I'm digging the heel turn. I don't think she's been a heel in a very long time, so I'm gonna like to see what she does with that. And it was announced that the new
Hmm.
women's world champion will be crowned this coming Monday on Raw. And it's looking like it's gonna be either Nia Jax or Liv Morgan, but from how it's looking now, more than likely Liv Morgan.
Okay, seems like the right fit to do it. So,
Yeah, because
um,
obviously Rhea's injured. Becky, I think, is gone for a while. I'm not sure when she's coming back per se. So if the both of them are going to be gone for the foreseeable future, then Liv Morgan's probably the next best choice.
right.
Yeah, but I gotta say, without Rhea and also Becky, their women's division, at least for the time being, is in a very weird place.
And then plus with Raquel Rodriguez gone too, man. You got to remember, there's no Bianca Belair is not on Raw; she's on SmackDown. So
Well, that could change in a few weeks with the draft coming up.
true, that is true.
So yeah, I feel like now considering that this draft is coming at the right time because yeah, that Raw women's division could use a shakeup.
Yeah.
Yes, but yeah, speedy recovery to Rhea Ripley. Yeah, it's very unfortunate this happened at this timing at that. And yeah, we hope she gets back on her feet sooner than later.
Same here. But speaking of shakeups, so that same night on Raw, we had a shakeup when it came to the tag team championships. The new Raw tag team champions, that is Miz and R Truth. Triple H was in the ring with apparently some new belts for them, and it was revealed that we have the World Tag Team Championships, not a different name, but also a new look. And I have to tell you, Kurt, I actually love this new look, and more importantly, I love the name. Looks way better than those penny looking championship belts that we had like for so many years. That those belts overstayed their welcome. The reaction from the crowd was very positive, from what I can tell.
Yes, the reaction was positive for the belts. Not so much the segment. A lot of people criticize the segment for various reasons, but I am happy that we have new tag team titles because yes, this shit has been long overdue. Those belts that we've had for like the last like 13, 14 years or however long it's been are like the ugliest looking tag titles I've ever seen and probably ugliest looking belts I've ever seen, period. Yo, those shits were
Right.
not ever a good look.
No. Man, and then, like I said, man, it's the name itself that I like, that attracts me the more, because of the fact that they went back to their old ways, calling it the World Tag Team Championships. And you already know that, later this week on SmackDown, as I already knew this, but they revealed that you're going to change the belt and just go back to the original name of just Tag Team Champions. I thought it was a bit weird how they had Raw Tag Team Champions, SmackDown Tag Team Champions. I thought it was a bit weird calling it that. So they went back to their old ways, calling it, the original names, how it was back in the day.
Yeah, I like it too. And more than likely, we're going to get an update for the tag titles on SmackDown tomorrow night. We'll see how those turn out. Probably very similar to what the titles already look like on SmackDown now, but whatever. It's still an upgrade from what they looked like before. So yes, I'm happy they've upgraded the tag titles. It's about damn time, and hopefully they can upgrade some of their other titles soon too. Intercontinental title.
Yeah, I know that's what you had mentioned that. A lot of people were talking about that, and I was first person I was thinking about was Kurt. I was like, yeah, Kurt will be like the first one to petition for that, but we'll see what's going to happen when it comes to that.
Yes, we will. And also on Raw, we had the return for the first time in several months of Sheamus, who
Yeah,
defeated Ivar in his return match and actually came out to his old theme music.
that's good.
Well, kind of a mix of his old theme music and his newer theme music at the beginning, but
Hmm.
still brought it back nonetheless. Had a good performance, but one thing that's been kind of weird since Monday is some of the body shaming he's been getting. People like criticizing his figure, criticizing the fact that he looks like he's out of shape. And it's come to the point where he even had to go online and defend himself and say that he was originally supposed to be called back, like when the draft was going on, but he got called back earlier. So that's kind of why he looks the way he does. But yeah, some whack ass shit to be body shaming the dude when the dude would probably beat half of your asses if y'all was standing in front of him.
Exactly, and he responded back to the criticism about that. I think anybody who's talking about they're not even in shape like he is, so it's just stupid, man.
Yeah, it's no better than people who are criticizing Stone Cold at Backlash 2000 saying he was out of shape then. I'm like, bro, the dude just came off of neck surgery. How are you expecting him to look?
Right.
Yeah, but whatever. Sheamus is back. I'm glad that he is back, specifically on the brand with the Intercontinental title, which could mean something down the line. And yeah, good to have the dude back.
Same here, man. So Raw went to a different, little makeover when it came to their entrance, and it's because so they could, fill up more seats in their arenas. How do you think about the new stage?
I like it, and I like seeing how filled the arenas are. Like when I watch Raw now, watch SmackDown now, you could like tell it's a packed
Yeah.
house. Like they're not darkening out like certain parts of the arena. Like you could see every single last part of it, and it's great, man. It's fucking great.
Oh, yeah. Same here.
And also on Raw, we had a promo from Cody Rhodes, and he was, addressing The Rock. He was addressing the fact how The Rock said he was going to make him bleed, and he went on to respond to that saying, "If you're going to make me bleed, you're going to bleed with me."
Wow.
But he did give The Rock his props, talking about how The Rock just doesn't have one more match left in him. He has many matches left in him.
I believe that.
Yeah, because there's rumors going around of when Rock and Cody are going to eventually have their match, and supposedly it's not going to be until WrestleMania next year, which
Hmm.
I personally think is too far away. I feel like they should do it sometime before the year is over, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And yeah, Cody also went on to give Seth Rollins his flowers for, the performance he put on in WrestleMania, for being his shield during the main event with the match with Roman. And yes, we didn't really talk about it enough last week. Rollins was one of the MVPs of WrestleMania, from the tag match on Saturday, then the match on Sunday and dropping the belt to McIntyre, and being like one of the main X factors in the outcome of the Roman and Cody main event. Just seeing how like he had to be helped out when he was walking out at the end of it. Definitely the dude put in work on both nights of WrestleMania, and you gotta give him props where it's due.
I agree. And, that was, that big ups on a rock, I think there's like a lot of MVPs from WrestleMania. Seth Rollins doing his part, Cody Rhodes, even The Rock doing his part too. Everybody, all pitched in to make that show great as what it is. As some people are calling it, one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time. But also, it's not just the wrestlers who are also the MVPs. Could be the ring announcer as well, as Samantha Irvin did, not just both nights, night one and two, just really just carried that show as well as a ring announcer, and she did a very phenomenal job.
Yeah, she announced every single match, the Hall of Fame inductions, everything. She carried both nights, and especially her announcement of Cody winning at the end of night two when she was all emotional throughout it. That was just the icing on the cake. Even Michael Buffer in a tweet gave her high praise, saying how great she was, how great of a performance she put on.
Yeah.
And I've said it
Hmm.
for like pretty much the last year, and I'll say it again, she's the best ring announcer since Howard Finkel.
I agree. I put Lillian Garcia still on that list too. I mean, I love Lillian Garcia as an announcer as well.
Yeah, she's good too. I'll never deny that. But I would say the top two of all time are definitely Howard Finkel and also Samantha Irvin as a very, very close second.
Hmm.
Yeah, there were still haters talking shit and criticizing her and saying that she does too much and she makes it more about herself. And all I have to say to you haters and all you people criticizing Samantha Irvin is that you douches are no fucking fun.
No, I mean, this is the again. Look, I don't know, like how much like more we got to dive into this. Is not real. I mean, wrestling fans are toxic. Just with everything, I always have something negative to say, and who are you guys to say anything? You're not in the business. You guys are not getting paid the money they are. They even were criticizing Cody Rhodes for the way he was holding his belt because he
Oh,
hold
shut the fuck up. Oh my
yeah.
God.
I
What
know
a
you've
bunch
been
of
here,
clowns.
right?
What a bunch of clowns.
But you're complaining about that. It really goes to show you that you don't know your wrestling. Because if you go back even before our time, even during our time, most of the wrestlers carried their belts in that way. Instead of holding it over their shoulder, they'll like carry it. The Rock did it. Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes did it.
Harley Race.
Right. A lot of old school guys carried that belts that way. And I like that. It's a very formal way of carrying the belt. Hell, if I was a professional wrestler, I'll be doing the same thing.
Yeah, and sadly, it's not just wrestling fans, it's fans of anything. They just have to find shit to complain about and find some shit to
Yeah.
throw a fit about. And it's just some whack ass people to be around. And I try to keep my distance from them as much as possible.
I feel you.
They're the damn fun police, and more than that, these are the same type of people who would probably want Vince McMahon back. Because I don't know if you saw like last week, like during WrestleMania weekend, like Vince McMahon's trainer put up a post saying, "Oh, it's so sad that Vince can't be a part of WrestleMania for the first time. People love to jump all over somebody when they're in trouble, but none of you would be fans without him." Yada yada yada. And I just left a comment underneath the post saying, "In 2024, the wrestling business in WWE as a whole is way better off without him."
I feel you because look, I mean, the storyline's been better. Just business is booming right now, Kurt, and attendance is going up. Just so much change going on. Through the inside and outs. I mean, come on, like for goodness sakes, man. We just got our World Tag Team Championship belts back, the name back, man. Do you think that would have been back if Vince was still in charge? I don't think so.
Hell no.
There's a lot of change, and business is booming as well. Business is doing good.
If Vince were still around, they would be performing in arenas that are as filled as AEW arenas are these days.
Yeah, and that kind of takes me back because I remember there was a point in time where WWE attendance were not doing so well. It was like around like 2017, 2018, around that time.
Yep. We went to a couple of those shows, and yeah, they were not very filled up by any stretch.
Right. Right.
All right, but that's another story for another time. Let's get back into this Cody promo. Cody goes on to bring out Jey Uso, and then him and Jey Uso hug, and as he's leaving the ring, he tells Jey Uso, "Until we yeet again." And from what came out afterwards, this was seen as a farewell from Cody Rhodes, as he will be getting drafted to SmackDown once the draft happens. And that was kind of a passing of the torch and making Jey Uso the number one guy on Raw now, the number one babyface on Raw.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
See where that goes. But Jey Uso is the number one contender for the World Heavyweight title, correct?
Yes, he is. He will be facing Damian Priest at Backlash in France in a couple of weeks. And on Raw, he was having a match with Finn Balor, and after the match was over, he was escaping the Judgment Day and leaving the ring through the crowd. And he was walking through the crowd and walking through like the concession stand area and the food area. And he's like walking through the people. He even shoved one dude out of the way at one point. And then he walks out of the arena. And when he walks out of the arena, he sees Sami Zayn standing out there, like just looking up at the sky. And then he asks Sami Zayn what he's looking at. And then Sami Zayn like reminisces on the fact that he went to his very first wrestling show at that arena 25 years ago, that being the 97 Survivor Series. And then Sami Zayn, before he leaves, says, I'm going into the arena tonight the same way I went into the arena my first time here, right through the front door. So then he goes from the front door through like the concession stand area, the snack area, all the way like through the fans, all the way to the ring. Yo, that shit was great. And all of this just like the backstage segment at WrestleMania with him, all with one camera shot.
Yeah, love the whole camera shot, man. They've been doing so well with that lately, man. So I told you, man, just business is booming.
Yes, business is booming, and yeah, that was just so great to see like Sammy just get all excited and like just walk through the fans. He's like high fiving everybody. He's like walking through the stands. Yo, that shit was nuts.
Yeah.
And this would be the main event of Raw, as it would be him and Chad Gable for the Intercontinental title. The match was great, and we weren't expecting any less from these two. The match was very solid, very back and forth, could have gone either way. But considering that Sami Zayn just won the title a week ago, I did not doubt that he would retain, in which he did with the Huluva kick. And then after the match, Chad Gable raised his hand and they shook hands afterwards, but Chad Gable was visibly very upset. But he walked away, or so we thought. And then Sami Zayn goes outside of the front row to celebrate with his family. He's like hugging one of his family members. I'm not sure exactly who it was. He was hugging one family member. And then as he's going to hug his wife, Chad Gable gets up from behind him and hits him with a German suplex outside the ring.
Man. Boy.
And then Chad Gable continues to beat down Sammy, and then he throws him into the post and then puts him into the ankle lock as he's hanging from the post as the show goes off the air. And I predicted it, bro. I predicted it. Chad Gable probably wasn't going to win the match, but he was probably going to turn heel afterwards, and that is exactly what happened. So now we're going to get this feud for the next few months, and I am down for it, son.
And I like it. That's the favorite that he wants. And I'm kind of like this storyline that they're planning to do right now.
Yeah, it's a nice fresh feud we haven't seen before. And if Gunther's going to be gone for a while, Chad Gable could fill that void. And eventually he could probably win the title, not as a babyface, but as a heel, but he'll still get it. And yeah, this could definitely be a good look for both of them. I'm looking forward to seeing where this feud goes.
Same here.
Yeah, but it needed to happen, bro. It definitely needed to, especially with how they were building WrestleMania up and how he was helping Sammy get ready for it. Yeah, it was inevitable that they were going to have a feud like this, and I'm not mad at it at all.
No, and we were talking about, what's going to happen with Gunther, moving forward from this. I think I said this before. He needs to go after the world title now. Do a storyline with Cody. I'll love that. I'll love to see that.
He'll probably have to move to SmackDown then, since Cody's more than likely moving to SmackDown among some other people, more than likely. So yeah, if they're going to do that match, they'll probably have to move him to SmackDown.
You know what? Since they're gonna change the tag team titles, right? Do you see them changing the WWE Championship? I still call it the WWE Championship. I don't like calling it the Undisputed Universal Title. I think they need to retire that name and just go back calling it the WWE Championship.
Well, they don't call it the Universal title anymore. They just call it the Undisputed WWE title.
Okay.
But speaking of the WWE Undisputed title, this past Friday on SmackDown, we had two triple threat matches that were won by both AJ Styles and LA Knight, respectively. And as a result, the two of them will face each other this Friday on SmackDown to decide who will face Cody Rhodes for the WWE title at Backlash. I think AJ Styles is more than likely winning this match, and we get AJ and Cody at Backlash, which is funny enough that we've never actually ever had this match before. Not just in WWE, but ever.
That would be good. Honestly, I like that.
Hell yeah, I would like that. And AJ's like saying he's like getting more towards the end of his career, and he's like, time is winding down. Why not give him like one last run with feud with Cody for the title in the main event? I'm down for it.
I'm down for it too, and plus on top of the fact that AJ's a heel now.
Exactly. And LA Knight, I feel like LA Knight could still dethrone the douchebag fuck Logan Paul whenever he does come back.
I would love to see that, man. I with his big win at WrestleMania, not just it wasn't any kind of win. That was a good match. We talked about it before in our previous episode, but I would love to see. I want him to win a championship.
He will. He will at some point. And speaking of Logan
So,
Paul, let's send our congratulations to him as he is going to be expecting his first child in the next coming months.
oh wow! Congratulations, congrats to him.
We still don't like him, but congratulations to him on becoming a dad. Okay, but anyway, yeah, so Cody and AJ, and I'm more than down to see Cody and AJ. I know it's not official yet, but I'm more than down to see it happen once it does become official. And we didn't just have that happen on SmackDown. We also had a very interesting development with the Bloodline as Solo Sikoa, Jimmy Uso, and Paul Heyman were backstage. They were going to what would be the Bloodline's locker room, but instead of the Bloodline's tag on it, it had Cody Rhodes' tag on it. And then Kevin Owens could be seen walking into the locker room of Cody Rhodes, and then he tells the Bloodline dudes, yeah, you guys aren't invited inside. If you guys want to get changed, there's a broom closet right down the hall over there.
Wow.
And then like Solo Sikoa was like, yo, I'm going to handle this. And then Paul Heyman stops him and says, there are consequences for losing. Since Roman Reigns lost at WrestleMania, that's now Cody Rhodes' dressing room, but we'll get that dressing room back once Roman Reigns retains the title. Several minutes later, they're having a segment in the ring, and then Paul Heyman's talking about accountability for what happened at WrestleMania and how they don't blame anybody and how Cody won fair and square and decisively. And then as the promo is going on, Solo Sikoa stops him and then goes on to talk about how there's consequences for losing, kind of like what Heyman said earlier. And then he goes on to say, with consequences, there comes change. And then he shoves Heyman out of the way and then looks to Jimmy Uso and then kind of gets in Jimmy Uso's face. And then Jimmy Uso's ready to step to him. But then Solo Sikoa hugs him very awkwardly and says that he loves him. He loves him. You're my brother. And then as he stops hugging him, a random dude in a hoodie jumps Jimmy Uso from behind. And that random dude in the hoodie turned out to be Tomma Tonga, the son of Haku. And then he goes on to beat the hell out of Jimmy Uso, just punching him, kicking him, all that other jazz. And then Solo Sikoa goes on to hit his brother Jimmy with multiple Samoan spikes. And then as Paul Heyman is attempting to call Roman Reigns on his cell phone, Solo Sikoa takes the phone out of Heyman's hands, drops it onto the mat, and then stomps on it. Yeah, I didn't see that shit coming. I did not see that shit coming.
Me neither. Me neither. Crazy.
And then he puts a chair over Jimmy Uso's head and puts him up against the turnbuckle. And then he goes on to say again that he loves him. And then right after that, he does the butt buckle against Jimmy Uso against the chair, against the turnbuckle. And that goes on to end the segment. And looks like now we have a newer version of the Bloodline.
Man.
Yeah, talk about making an impact on your first night.
I know.
He's been in Japan for a bunch of years, but now this is his big break. And it's so funny. Him and Haku were sitting next to Paul Heyman's kids at the Hall of Fame.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Then a few minutes later, Kayla Braxton's standing outside of the trainer's room to get an update on Jimmy Uso. And then Paul Heyman walks out. And then he's all mortified and terrified. He doesn't know what to say. And then Tomma Tonga comes up to him and says, from orders of the tribal chief. And then Solo just has the spike hand lifted up and just smiles at Heyman and just walks away. And now people are speculating which tribal chief gave the order out.
Ooh, Roman or who?
Or The Rock.
Maybe. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, so this whole Bloodline thing has gone in a whole new direction, and I'm more than down for it. And Roman losing the title was the best thing that happened for this because now, take the Bloodline storyline in a whole new direction. And him dropping the title was necessary to get what we got last Friday.
Very necessary, honestly. Man.
And looks like Roman's going to be gone for the foreseeable future as Kiki Palmer just released a picture online the other day of Roman on the set of this new movie that she's going to be in also that's going to be on Amazon. So he's going to be busy with that project and I believe another project over the next few months. But despite that, He is apparently going to be having a lot of say in the Bloodline storyline, despite the fact that he will be gone.
I mean, he needs some time apart. I mean, this is good for him, to have a movie role, Bo. But he's gonna come back, man, and we'll see what's gonna happen after that.
Yeah, but I think when he comes back, the way it's looking now, he's going to come back as a babyface.
Yeah. Oh, of course, of course, of course. That's not a surprise, man.
I kind of have a feeling there's probably going to be more members of this new bloodline on the way. One of them possibly being Jacob Fatu.
Hmm. I heard about him. I heard that they had signed him onto a deal.
Yeah, so I see him coming a lot sooner than later with this new bloodline. And I feel like Jimmy and Jay eventually are going to get back together after all this happened. And they're going to rejoin Roman and they're going to fight off this new bloodline and have like a big match sometime this year.
Okay, I can see that. Definitely can see that.
Yeah, but I like this direction now. Like we all thought the whole bloodline thing had jumped the shark at SummerSlam, but then when The Rock came back, it kind of breathed new life into it. And now with this recent angle that happened on SmackDown, it's giving us a whole new thing to get invested into.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people said SmackDown last week was better than Raw last week.
Really.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying that SmackDown last week was like the better show and like it like moved things along in a more interesting way.
Hmm. Could see that. Could definitely see that.
And also, this coming week on SmackDown, we're going to get Bayley defending the women's title against Naomi after Naomi knocked off Tiffany Stratton last week. But I feel like this is probably going to turn into like a three-way program or like a match between Bayley and Tiffany Stratton at Backlash.
You got to look at that card for Backlash. See how that's gonna be shaping up in France of all places.
I got to give Tiffany Stratton credit for her outfit last week on SmackDown. Kind of a nod to Cher from Clueless. The shit was a good look.
Hmm.
But yeah, so we're gonna get that this Friday on SmackDown, and it's looking like we pretty much have Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair as a tag team now. And yeah, they're wearing like matching outfits, matching colors, and all that jazz. And they're more than likely gonna go after the tag titles of Kairi, Zayn, and Asuka at Backlash. I see that happening too.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a lot to watch for the next few weeks with Backlash coming up, also the WWE draft coming up next week. But I have to say, there are a lot of people that are going to be missing over these next few months, and we're going to definitely feel their absence. I mean, The Rock, for one, The Rock's definitely going to be missed. Roman, another one. Seth Rollins, Becky
Yeah.
Lynch. I'm not sure how long Becky Lynch is going to be gone for. She even spoke on it a few days ago, saying how it was like all internet rumors, but she hasn't been on Raw in the last 2 weeks. And then after she lost at WrestleMania, it kind of like didn't look as if she was going to be sticking around for the next few weeks. Well, who knows? Maybe she'll pop up on Raw this Monday night for the whole vacant women's title situation.
Okay.
Also, Rhea now. Now Rhea's out. Yeah, it's not a good look. But the thing I like about now compared to past years is that even though there's key people out, there's like other key people and other people who are ready to step up and take their place.
Hey, man, that's the name of the game.
Let's get into some AEW news. As this coming Sunday, they have their Dynasty pay-per-view, and the main event will be Samoa Joe defending against Swerve Strickland for the AEW Championship. And I want to say Swerve is finally going to get the title, but I don't know if it's going to be this Sunday. I think they might stretch it out to the Double or Nothing next month.
Okay. So we know about Double or Nothing coming to Vegas. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm after what's been going on. I'm happy for Sir Strickland, going after the title against Samoa Joe. Love that storyline. It sucks though. Sometimes it gets a little overclouded by the things that, Tony Khan's been doing, man, and just how the way AEW's been,
Being petty.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody said of last week's Dynamite that the show wasn't necessarily bad, but that petty and personal shit they put in the show just outshined any good that was on the show. Like there was a good match between Adam Copeland and Penta, like at the beginning of the show, and there was like a segment with Samoa Joe and Swerve Strickland at the end of the show, and a match with Dustin Rhodes before that. But it didn't matter. That dumbass, petty ass shit that they were doing with the Young Bucks and also Will Ospreay afterwards, it just overshadowed any good that they did on the whole show, and it's sad to say.
I agree with you, man. It overshadows it, man, because um, I feel bad for him, man. You have the opportunity to be the first, African American, AEW champion, and is getting overclouded by this nonsense.
Yeah, but if it does happen Sunday, yo, that'll be a big deal, bro.
Very big deal.
And looking back at it now, maybe getting fired by WWE was one of the best things that ever happened to him. Like a part of me wonders like what it would have been like if he like went back to WWE under Triple H's umbrella. But since he's gone to AEW, he's been nothing but a success.
True.
Out of all the people who have gone from WWE to AEW, I think he's been one of the few ones who's like done better there than he did in WWE. I'll put him in that category, and also I'll put Tony Storm in that category too.
Okay.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens Sunday. I feel like they're gonna stretch it out to the next pay per view. I don't think it's gonna be like a set finish.
Got you. And it's going to be 2 nights there, correct? For Double or Nothing, right?
They're gonna like do a collision show the night before, but it's not gonna be like a 2 night pay per view like WrestleMania. Not like that.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, we have that match on Sunday. We also have Will Ospreay and Bryan Danielson for the first time ever. Yo, that match is gonna be wild, bro.
Oh, I bet. I bet.
Bryan Danielson wasn't lying when he said he was gonna go out swinging with like this last year of him wrestling full time. Yeah, he's going against everybody.
Damn.
But I gotta say, from watching Will Ospreay on like AEW so far, like I didn't really see a lot of his stuff beforehand. But yo, I gotta say, this dude has it, man. He's great in the ring. He has charisma. He has great energy. Yo, he could definitely be like the face of their company within like the next year or so.
Yeah, I seen some of his promos, very intense and all that stuff, though. But again, when he was talking about Triple H like that and just shaming, WWE like that, look, I get it. On a competitive standpoint, it is similar to WWE versus WCW. I get it. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's kind of like I'm a firm believer, man. Just stay in your lane, dude. Because the more you talk and talk and talk about your competition, it's like, come on, dude.
Did you hear what Triple H said on like Pat McAfee's show the Friday before WrestleMania about how like certain people he was happy he didn't pick up because they wanted a lighter schedule and all that. They didn't want to make working a full priority. And he said like, yo, I'm happy I didn't get those people. Like if you really want to be here, if you're really trying to build your name and make a name for yourself, you better be in it for the grind. You better be in it for the long haul. So that's kind of why Will Ospreay said what he said, or that's why he was told to say what he said.
I mean, I see what you mean. But, you got to remember when you go to any kind of wrestling business, it's not, I mean, it's not, I'm not saying it's not like easy. I mean, it could be fun depending on how passionate you are for it. But like Eddie Guerrero said, his business is not for everybody. So you got to know full hand what you're getting yourself into, man. It's a lot of work.
But that's the thing. Will Ospreay's been grinding for years, and the reason why he didn't want to go to WWE is because apparently they wanted him to move to the states. But with AEW, with his deal with AEW, he can live back and forth between the states and the UK because he didn't want to move like his wife and his stepson from like the UK to the states and have them like like leave their careers, leave their like friends and all that jazz. So AEW worked out best for him for where he could like travel back and forth between the states and the UK. But with WWE, he wouldn't have been able to do it that way.
No, no, it's understandable. I'm not judging him for that. I'm not. I mean, he has a right again, but I'm just saying, just in general, listen, wrestling business is a tough schedule, man. And I think it was worse. I don't know how it is now though, but it's back then. I mean, it was way worse back then, man. Especially during the territory era, where people had to drive in cars to town every other night. You know what I mean? So again, it's a tough business, dude.
Oh yeah, definitely. That travel schedule is no joke, and I get what Triple H was trying to say. And even if Will Ospreay or somebody else from AEW like responded like in a tweet or in an interview, that would have been one thing. But to make it as a part of like the actual weekly show, that was just some petty ass shit, bro. There's like no way of sugarcoating it. But I will say I was happy to see that like last night's Dynamite wasn't as much on that bullshit. It was more focused on like, the actual product in the ring and also like the show coming up this Sunday. So they definitely bounced back with last night's episode. So I'll give them that. They really need to check that personal shit at the door, because if they do like more shows like the one they did last week, like, putting all that personal shit in the middle of it, bro, they're not going to have a happy ending.
No, they're not. Look what happened to WCW back in 2000, man.
Nah, but I don't think they're gonna go that far down. I don't think they're gonna like disappear like WCW did.
No.
I think they're like number 3 behind like the WWE and also the UFC for like the highest grossing like sports companies in the states.
So I'm sorry. One of the exciting news I've been hearing for past couple of days is about WrestleMania next year. So usually during this time, or even before WrestleMania, we already know the location of where it's going to be at next year. Strangely, this year's been different. We have not been told directly what's going to be the exact location. Rumors been flying everywhere. It could be Minneapolis. It could be Las Vegas. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to find that out next month in May. As yesterday, Nick Khan revealed that Vegas, it could be in the uprunning to be the potential site for WrestleMania 41 next year. Man.
Yes, but he did say for sure that it won't be like in an outdoor East Coast stadium.
Yeah, he had talked about that, how they kind of like want to get away from that. And honestly, after what we saw, last weekend, I mean, they were in Philly though, but at the same time they were outside and they were, the weather. So that's probably one of the reasons. To me personally, I rather, if it's West Coast or East Coast, I prefer dome stadiums over outdoor stadiums, to be honest.
Yeah, and also another thing Nick Khan said is that he wants to avoid going head to head with the Final Four.
Right.
They usually always go head to head with the final. Or actually, no, I take that back, because WrestleMania used to always be on a Sunday, but now it's on Saturday and Sunday, so they do go head to head with the Final Four.
True. Yeah, because like night one will be like on the first night of the Final Four,
Yeah.
and then the final night of the Final Four will be on that Monday. Somewhat, and just for night one, they're going head to head. That's it. Night two, you have nothing to worry about.
I sincerely hope they do go to Vegas, because if it does come to Vegas, I will definitely be there next year. No questions asked. No questions asked.
Yes. Oh my God. Please. Oh man. These are two reasons why I want WrestleMania to come to Vegas. It's Vegas. This city has been changing and changing every year. There's like changes going on, man. I've been living here for 16 years now, and never in my wildest dreams did I ever think that we're gonna get a football stadium here, get a hockey team here.
I won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I won a Stanley Cup, but just sports has just really changed the game, the identity of the city. And and also with the Super Bowl coming here, I'm still perplexed about I can't believe we hosted a Super Bowl here. You know what I mean? And the next step is like, you got to have a WrestleMania here. And then when they build that new Sphere little concert arena on the Strip, a lot of people are speculating now that, okay, if you're going to bring WrestleMania here, that's probably a good place to have a Raw or SmackDown event there. They're going to have a UFC event at that same place, I think sometime later this year. But hey, that's a good opportunity to bring Raw and SmackDown over there, and I think they could pull it off.
Yeah, oh, definitely. And I sincerely look forward to what they make the set for WrestleMania look like if they do go to Vegas. That shit'll be epic.
Oh my God. Oh, epic. I think just as epic as the one they did in LA last year.
Man, I can see it
Oh,
now.
so epic.
I can see it now.
And yeah, I can definitely see now. And then also my second reason, since you're going to have it in Vegas, hopefully, this is the opportunity to, okay, they had WrestleMania here in Vegas back in 1993. We saw how that turned out. Did not turn out well. Good chance for them to redeem themselves. And I know they can, especially how business is now.
That'd be a perfect main event they could book, but the two of them don't wrestle anymore, so it can't happen.
What?
Bret Hart versus Hulk Hogan.
Oh, stop it.
Bro, it would make
Stop.
perfect sense.
Stop
I can see the
it.
promos now.
Oh my God.
Like Bret does like a promo outside, like hours before the show, like in the actual Roman Coliseum, saying it was this place 30 so years ago where Hulk Hogan took my moment away from me. Now in this stadium, I'm gonna get my moment back. Your
Oh
shit
my
would be classic. Only one can wish, but that's another story. But yeah, fingers crossed they decide to go to Vegas because yeah, it's been over 30 years since they've been to Vegas. No disrespect to
Yeah.
Minneapolis. I'm sure Minneapolis is a great city and all that, but it's Vegas,
Chris
bro.
Stadium too.
It's Vegas, bro.
I know.
I will say I do like that stadium in Minneapolis because I heard it's gonna be all vegan from now on.
All of it.
Yes, kind of stadium I want to go to. Fuck yeah.
I'm quite sure every stadium has vegan. So
Nah, but all vegan options compared to just one. Yeah, because like the T-Mobile Arena, for example, the only thing I could probably eat there is French fries.
okay. Hmm.
Even like the Braves Park here in Atlanta, Truist Park, they even have Slutty Vegan inside of it. So if I were ever to go to a Braves game, I have that as an option. That shit's clutch.
So you still haven't went to a Braves game yet, have you, Kurt?
Nah, I've been planning on it. I do want to go to one sometime this season, definitely. I
Oh,
go to the area where the
yeah.
Braves Park is, Truist Park. I'm sorry, the Battery, where their stadium is located. But yeah, definitely would love to go to a Braves game.
Definitely, man. What are you waiting for, man? You lucky to have a baseball team out there, man. I'm freaking going have FOMO right now. I feel like I'm missing out, not watching my team play though, but I'm dying to though. But that's another story. But yeah, Minnesota could definitely in the future could host a WrestleMania, maybe 2026, hopefully. But I think for next year, especially after they were hosting the Super Bowl, you have to put it in Vegas, man. You have to. And Kurt, you should have been in Vegas during that. It was hectic. Don't get me wrong, it was hectic, but the whole vibe around it, man, it was unbelievable, man. And I mean, I know you don't watch football, but I know you saw like highlights of it and photos of it, and you just that whole vibe of having the big game and here in Vegas was just it was unbelievable, man. And you have to bring a WrestleMania out here. You have to.
Yeah, to be in Vegas for like WrestleMania week where like all the wrestling fans are in town. Fuck me, son. Like I told you before, like when I've gotten to WrestleManias like in Dallas and also Orlando, that's when I really saw how like WWE just takes over the whole fucking city. There's like posters
Yeah.
promoting WrestleMania at the airport, the downtown area, all the clubs, the hotels. Yeah, everywhere. Everywhere you're surrounded by wrestling fans or something wrestling related. Yeah, shit is for real, bro. And to be there in Vegas for that, yo, that would be the best weekend ever. And get to go to those pool parties.
I bet, man. I bet. And it sucks that when I went last year, they didn't have the fan access. That bummed me out, and it was not fair. Like then this year they brought it back, and I'm like, well, damn. The year that I went, they didn't have it, and now they bring it back next year. I mean, this year. So let's hope they're going to continue doing that in the future where, Lord willing, they come to Vegas. I'm going to go.
Yeah, I do definitely. When I do go to WrestleMania again, I need to go to Access once because I always wanted to go to one ever since
Yeah.
'94 when they initially started it. But yeah, just to go to it once,
Mhm.
I wouldn't like pay $300 to meet anybody as much as I may be fans of theirs. But just to pay to go inside and check everything out, that would be worth the price of admission.
Oh, I bet. I bet.
Still need to go to a Comic Con too.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I heard those are pretty interesting. My brother went to one in Seattle. I heard they're really good.
Cool. I might maybe meet my future wife there. I like girls who are like on that nerdy vibe. That shit is right up my alley. All right, but that's another story. But congratulations to Ruby Soho as it was revealed on the taping for Rampage that's going to be airing this weekend. She is now pregnant.
Oh, congratulations, sir.
Yes, congratulations to her. She will be off TV obviously for the foreseeable future, but I'm happy for her. Good shit.
Good.
Yes, and speaking of other good shit, are you excited for the NBA playoffs this weekend?
Oh my God. Well, you know what? I'm excited for that and the Stanley Cup playoffs, man. That's one of the things I love about them.
Oh yeah, you get both.
Get them both, ladies. Bring it all, man. Come on. April's my. I'm gonna lie. Let me keep it real with you. April is my favorite month of the year. Okay, you have
I don't
WrestleMania.
blame
You
you.
have the Stanley Cup playoffs, NBA playoffs, and just so baseball
420
for you. Yeah, but and also springtime. Springtime is my favorite
time of the year, mine
season of
too.
the year. Oh yes, I love springtime weather. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, I'm excited for the playoffs, man. I know you're happy. You're Knicks. You get a first round matchup against the Sixers. Honestly, it should have been. I wish it would have been Miami. I can't believe Miami blew that game.
I don't care as long as we win.
I bet matchup against the Sixers, man. And then plus with my Lakers, we got a freaking tough matchup against freaking Denver
Yeah,
Nuggets.
bro. Look, I wish you guys the best of luck. Miracles have happened
Same,
before, but bro, it doesn't look good, man. The Nuggets are on a tear.
bro. Jokic is like us playing against him is going to be like freaking Sean. If we beat them, it's going to be like when Rocky defeated Drago.
Like I've said, stranger things have happened, but fuck, man, it doesn't look good.
They need to be more. They need to be motivated, man, because it's like the three times that the Lakers lost to the Nuggets were on big nights for the Lakers. They lost to the Nuggets on Kobe's statue reveal. They lost to the Nuggets on the I think it was the night when LeBron surpassed Kareem's point record, I believe.
Yeah, last season.
Yeah, no, it was this year, this season.
No, when LeBron surpassed Kareem, that was last year.
He surpassed somebody. It was this year, and he lost. The Lakers lost. Of course, they lost on the Nuggets ring ceremony, but I mean, look, man, they have to have some motivation to get it done. And Anthony Davis really needs to step it up, man. Like they've been talking about on First Take, all morning about how like, look, if you want to prove yourself, you got to prove yourself to your team and really get this done. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen, man.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like ever since LeBron's been on the Lakers, they've like only like been like a favorite once, like in that 2020 season. But at least they made it this year, unlike the Warriors. Like seeing what happened to the Warriors kind of just like made me sad, to be honest with you.
Look, here's the thing, man. All eras, certain things in life don't last forever. It felt like it was yesterday, man. Can't believe it's been 10 years to be exact. You know what I mean? But it is kind of sad though.
When I first moved to
It's
Vegas in 2015, that's like around the time the Warriors won the first title.
yeah,
Well, of this era.
yeah, it's crazy. And I think it is done. Clay Thompson's not the same player anymore. I think Draymond, is getting older. You know how he is. I think you just need to build around Steph. Steph is getting older now. I think he's what 36, 37?
Yeah, 36 ish. Yeah, 36.
Yeah, so it's crazy, man. You look at the Bulls, you look at the Patriots, man. The Patriots were, dominating NFL for like 20 plus years, you know. If you're a sports fan and if your team is having like this type of dominance, enjoy it, man, for what it is. Don't take it for granted, because I I know a lot of Patriot fans like my brother are kind of like, man, we kind of took that whole thing for granted, you know what I mean? Because ever since Tom Brady left, they weren't the same anymore, so it happens.
Yeah, it happens, and it's just one of those things where after a while, certain teams just get older, and other teams just get younger, better, and just after a while catch up to them. Look at the stats in the West right now. The Thunder finished as number one.
I know.
When was the last time the Thunder were popular? Like what? Since Westbrook left?
Long time, man. Yeah. They haven't been to the finals since 2012. That was when they had Westbrook, KD, and
James Harden.
Harden. Yeah, that that's crazy.
And the Timberwolves like finished number 3 or something. Yeah, the Timberwolves are like number 3.
The whole entire Western Conference is stacked, Kurt. That whole conference is stacked.
But I'll say, as far as the two teams that come out of the West, my two picks I'll have to say are the Clippers or the Nuggets.
I don't see. I'm sorry. I can't take the Clippers serious. I can't. I never can because Kurt, that team has always had potential, like a deep potential roster for what? How many years? For the longest time. You had Blake Griffin. You had
Who just retired recently, actually.
yeah. You had Blake. You had a Blake Griffin, Chris Paul. You had all these guys. DeAndre Jordan. You have all these guys on that team where they were potentially were to win the finals. And look, I hate to admit it, they were better than my Lakers, but they couldn't never get it done. They couldn't. They couldn't never make it past the first round, Kurt, or second round. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they had a few years where they fucked up, like 2015 and 2020, but they did go to the
Right.
2021 conference finals. They did make it that year.
I know, but that's the furthest that they made it, Kurt. That's the furthest.
That's a
Yeah.
series where Patrick Beverly really made an ass of himself and like he shoved Chris Paul from behind and all. We were like recording the show when we were watching that game, and like in the middle of the show, we saw that and like we all flipped out.
Wow. I think I remember that, man. Yeah. I
Yeah, that was such a cheap move, but yeah, go on.
But yeah, that's a team that I cannot like take seriously, man. With all that talent on that roster, and you got Kawhi Leonard, always taking the games off and all that. And there's a story out he may not play for game one in the first round. So that team just I can't take that team seriously. And granted, they're going to get a new arena next year. Thank God. We don't want you in Staples. Go away. They're getting a new arena in Inglewood, like right by SoFi Stadium, which I've seen last time I was there, though. But yeah, this is one of those teams where I'm just like, bro, I can't take you seriously. Sorry.
Fair enough. They do have Dallas in the first round. I think they can get through that series, but
Ooh, really?
yeah, I think it'll be a fun series, but I think they could probably win that series.
With Luca and Kyrie Irving,
But as far as the
we'll see.
But as far as the East goes, I'm gonna go either with the Celtics or my Knicks. Those are the two teams I picked to come out of the East. Either one of them. And in the immortal words of Stephen A. Smith from First Take the other day, Knicks are going to the conference finals. Knicks are going to the conference finals. Knicks are going to the conference finals. Knicks are going to the conference finals.
I can see it. Okay.
And do the dance.
Jesus.
Do the dance.
Oh my God. You're gonna lose you are gonna lose yourself if they make it to the conference final.
Oh,
My
hell
God.
yes.
And how funny. 2024. It was the last time the Knicks were in a conference final. Was it damn what
2000. 2000.
that was the last time?
The year that Shaq and Kobe won the first time.
Wow.
That was the last time the Knicks went to the conference finals, and that was also Patrick Ewing's last season with them.
Crazy.
And you see how everything fell off after they traded him?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All the Knicks' negatives and all their like downs they've gone through in the last 2 decades can be traced back to when they traded Patrick Ewing. That's when it all started.
Mm.
All right, but that's another story for another time. But yes, I'm going with my Knicks all the way. But it's going to be a fun weekend and a fun next 2 months of watching basketball. I'm all here for it.
Same here. Same here with hockey too. And I go ballistic over Stanley Cup playoffs. It's my opinion is the best playoffs ever. It's just the intensity is through the roof. I can't wait. I really can't per se who I can pick from each one. I hope my Kings don't play against Edmonton Oilers for the third straight year. That would freaking just traumatize me. But we'll see how it goes. I'm just glad my team's in the playoffs, and I'm excited for it, period. So I can't wait for that.
Yes, it's that time of the year, bro. I'm happy for you. But before we get out of here, we didn't get the chance to talk about it last week, but we'll briefly touch on it real fast. Last week, O.J. Simpson passed away of prostate cancer at 76 years old. And It's so crazy. This year actually marks the 30-year anniversary of the killings and also that famous chase that happened a couple days afterwards. Yeah, I can't believe it's been that long, man.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be, funny or anything, but to this day, I still can't believe WWE used footage from that car chase in that Hollywood backlot brawl for WrestleMania 12 between Goldust and Roddy Piper.
You think that's bad? They were gonna try to get OJ Simpson to be a part of that match, like to have a match between OJ and Roddy Piper.
Okay, maybe I did remember hearing about that, though, but that was just so crazy, though, dude.
Yeah, they want because it was right after OJ got acquitted, so they wanted to take advantage of it because people were so mad that OJ got off. So they wanted to do like a match between OJ and Roddy Piper, where Piper beats the shit out of him, but it ended up not panning out.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy. It was supposed to be Razor
Mm.
Ramon and Goldust. Then it was supposed to be OJ and Roddy Piper, and then yeah, it turned into Goldust and Roddy Piper.
Mm.
All right, but that's another story. But yeah, I'll just never forget like when all that was going down. I remember like yeah, that whole story was like the only thing they talked about on the news for like over a year. I'm not joking when I say that.
Of course. And then what the bro, the car chase happened during the NBA finals.
Yeah, they did a whole 30 for 30 about that whole day, June 17th, 1994, where that chase was happening, NBA Finals game was happening, the parade for the New York Rangers for the Stanley Cup championship was happening, the kickoff of the World Cup happened.
Man,
Yeah, that was a crazy ass day.
I need to watch that 30 for 30. I
Yeah, it's a great one.
yeah. They do a really good job in their documentaries. I love it.
They're doing one about Stuart Scott, I heard.
I want to watch that.
Good shit. But yeah, I mean, I know he was a Hall of Fame football player and he was a big deal during that era. And also, he branched into Hollywood and into commercials and also movies, specifically the Naked Gun franchise.
Crazy thing, Kurt, he even worked for NBC Sports covering football games.
Yeah, I remember that too. But yeah,
Yeah.
I do remember him fondly from the Naked Gun movies. Those definitely stood out to me.
Mm, mm.
Yeah, the third one actually came out like right before the killing happened. Yeah, the same year.
Dang.
Yeah, that movie was kind of tainted for me after that.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was weird because I remember like watching it like right after the killing happened, and then I see OJ Simpson in the movie. I'm like, oh fuck, this guy's in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's the thing with like things like accusations like that. Even if you actually are innocent, the fact that you get accused of something like that, and also rape being another example, that shit like really follows you for the rest of your life.
That I don't know, man. I think I watched a documentary on that trial, and they had like multiple episodes, and I think
Oh, the OJ Made in America 30 for 30 they did that was like 10 hours long.
I believe so, and I think it was
Yeah, that
second or
shit was
third
crazy.
episode, and I just said to myself like, "Oh man, there's no way he could have been innocent." After watching it,
Yeah, because the thing was, he had multiple incidents of like spousal abuse and domestic violence even before the murders happened.
yeah.
It's like what I've talked about in this podcast before, where there's smoke, there's fire. And yeah, with
Mm.
this situation, there was a lot of that there. And even Chris Rock kind of made a joke about it on one of his stand up routines, talking about how if I were paying for my ex-wife to be running around with this other dude and I was like paying for their vacations, paying for their car, and paying for them to live in some house, I'm not saying he should have killed them, but I understand. Shit. Nah, but personally I think he either did it or had something to do with it. But like the funny thing about it is that even Robert Kardashian, who was defending him and who was his best friend at the time, even
Oh,
he knew he was
yeah, yeah,
guilty.
yeah.
Even he knew he was guilty. So, bro, if your best friend thinks you're guilty, there's not really much else I could say about you.
I gotta watch that 30 for 30 now. Because that was a crazy day, dude. Oh my god. Yeah, like the freaking New York. Oh man, Rangers winning the cup, dude. Oh, 94. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh.
Did you ever watch like that series, The People versus OJ Simpson, that show where like
No, on FX. Oh no, no. I heard about it. No.
I watched it, it was pretty good. It's crazy. David Schwimmer, the dude who played Ross on Friends, played Robert Kardashian on it.
Oh.
And that Mike Shapiro dude was played by John Travolta, which actually he fit perfectly.
Yeah, I gotta watch that.
Yeah, and I'll never forget one thing that stood out about that show is even on that show, the Kardashians as kids, even there they were annoying.
Wow.
Ugh. But that's another story for another time.
Yeah, but regardless though, Rest in peace, OJ Simpson. I keep forgetting the fact that he did went to my USC, won a Heisman. Huh, crazy.
He also ended up eventually going to prison for like for something involving like stealing some of his memorabilia back or some shit like that. He went to prison for like I think a decade or so. A lot of people say that was karma, and the funny thing about that is that the day he got convicted for that crime was the 13-year anniversary of when he got acquitted for the murder, October the 3rd.
Wow.
Yeah, some creepy ass shit, but yeah, very polarizing figure for better or worse. Whatever you think about O.J. Simpson or whether or not you think he killed his wife and Ron Goldman, the dude definitely left a legacy and definitely was somebody who will never ever be forgotten.
Of course, of course.
All right, bro. I think we've said what we needed to say for tonight. Yes, and it's going to be a crazy weekend for the NBA playoffs. Also, we have SmackDown tomorrow night and also AEW Dynasty this Sunday. And yes, we will be here for a long time to come, breaking you guys off with that wrestling news, the controversy, storylines, and all the bullshit in between. And until next time, for John Randall, this is Conscious Kurt with another edition of the Clash of the Champions. Take care. Have a good rest of your weekend. God bless. And remember, don't be an asshole in real life or social media because that shit
It's for the birds.
is for the birds. And it makes wrestling fans look bad too.
All right, behave yourselves, you guys. Take care. God bless.
But not too much. Still have some fun.